Let's get into our first topic, which is this story that's going around that apparently Blumhouse has gotten the rights to the Saw franchise. So I don't know if a lot of y'all been paying attention, but I believe that last year, if I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking about this off the top of my head, that Saw 10 did what it did. Like the franchise, I feel like was on thin ice as it was, because the last couple of movies really wasn't doing well. I didn't even think that. I'm trying to debate whether or not I liked that Spiral movie, the one that was kind of like that was in the, I can't say kind of because it was, that was in the Saw universe. That was, I think Chris Rock wrote the script, or was a part of it, and he was the lead in the film. That movie was all right, but then, so I thought kind of like Saw wasn't going to really be all that, but then all of a sudden, they made Saw X, brought back John Kramer. And then we also got Shawnee Smith to come back as well, aka Amanda. And then we were hearing that they were supposed to be making a Saw 11. Then all of a sudden, it was like we were hearing they were going to start shooting, never came about. Then apparently there was some trouble in paradise because the people that were at Twisted Pictures were fighting. And we thought that the future would be bleak for a new Saw film. So now comes word, and this is from yesterday, that we are getting a Saw movie, and it may be heading to Blumhouse, which I kind of think, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was always kind of like the rumor floating around. They said, I remember ever hearing Blumhouse, I heard A24. A24 is a little too artsy-fartsy to even be going over to a place like, to be tackling a Saw movie. I did think like the best option, even though Blumhouse, y'all have not been giving me what I need in regards to the horror stuff as of late. Y'all been dropping a lot of disappointing movies. That movie with the people, and that pool movie, and then you did one with Imaginary, and there was just so many bad films that's been coming out as of late. And I know y'all did y'all big one with Megan, which I hate the fact that people call Megan a horror movie, because quiet as it's kept, Megan is like a horror movie for beginners. Like if y'all somebody who don't usually be watching blood, gore, slashers, all that stuff, if y'all not in that whole horror, if you're not like a horror movie vet or somebody that's deep in the whole horror movie space, then if you want to start out watching something that's going to be a little tame, a little PG-13 vibe of horror, even though I don't believe Megan was PG-13, but it gave PG-13 tease in regards to the tone. And you can go and watch that. And now they're going to changing up the whole situation, and they doing like fucking Terminator with the girl. So now I'm like, okay. So y'all did a big one. That was a huge hit for y'all. And now y'all hoping to swing for the fences with this one. And then we saw the Black Phone 2 trailer that just came out a couple of days ago. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing that trailer. So I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm starting to feel that, even though I don't want to go all in as of yet, that Blumhouse might be getting themselves back on track, because y'all been a little rocky in the past couple of years, I'll say. So according to Deadline, they say in a deal that will bring James Wan back in touch with the mega horror IP he created, they're hearing from several sources that Blumhouse has acquired the prospective rights to Twisted Pictures' portion of the Saw franchise. In short, Blumhouse essentially is taking over the IP's ownership from Twisted's Mark Berg and Oren Koules, which those are the two I was telling y'all that apparently they're not getting along. So there's some drama going on with that. Lionsgate will continue to be involved as a partner and, in fact, owns 50% of the franchise. Now, as of this time, there isn't development on another movie yet. Wan directed the first Saw movie in 2004 and co-wrote it with Lee Winnell, who Lee actually starred in the first Saw movie. Wan remained an EP on remaining Saw movies. Now, for those who are not familiar, Saw follows the notorious killer John Jigsaw Kramer and his cronies. Instead of killing his victims, he traps them in life-threatening tests and games as they try to survive through physical or psychological torture. The Saw franchise not only grossed over $1 billion at the global box office from 10 movies, but spawned comic books, video games, theme park attraction. I didn't even know they had a theme park attraction. Toys, masks, and clothing. The first Saw movie opened at $18.6 million and made $56 million domestic, $104 million worldwide. So we were talking about that. Oh, so here's the information. So they said there was a Saw 11 in development that was previously scheduled for September 2025. However, the project was stalled. Lionsgate and the franchise producers didn't see eye to eye on the 11th movie, which is pretty much what I told y'all, but I just didn't remember exactly when they're supposed to start. I think they're supposed to start. Okay, now I got it. They were supposed to start shooting it last year. It was supposed to come out this year in around September of this year. But then because of the infighting and the producers weren't really getting along and didn't want no, I mean, didn't like, I guess, whatever direction they wanted to take the film, that's why it stalled. So I'm in a way, I'm actually glad that Blumhouse has stepped up and taken over the franchise, especially because James Wan created the franchise. So with that being said, hopefully, even though we know, like, okay, it had a small budget, they did the whole, I love the first Saw and everything that entails with that whole situation, but Saw has become something way more sinister since they kind of stepped aside and weren't really like directing, writing, all other stuff. Like I said, James Wan stayed on as a producer, so I'm hoping that with him, with the rights going back to them over there at Blumhouse, because James Wan is there, that he will basically keep the overall core, the tone, all other stuff of those movies. Now the question remains: will John Kramer be coming back? I've always said that the problem with this franchise, and I really feel like what caused them to shoot themselves in the foot, was that y'all gave John Kramer terminal cancer. I kind of wish I would have just had this whole idea of like, John has cancer. He was taken advantage of by the medical industry. And then that caught, and he was then using, having kind of like the whole idea behind, like with Saw 10. It was like, I came in, these people said they were going to help get this cancer thing out of me with this holistic type of situation. Only thing was, I got conned by these people. So me getting conned, I actually sought revenge on these people that took advantage of me in my most weakest of moments. So if they kind of played up that whole tone and been like, you know what, actually, you're cancer free or it's in remission, whatever you want to say, they could have kept it going with him, just like giving the opportunity to people to like him going and kind of being like a vigilante of sorts. I feel like that they could have kept that going. But I guess a lot of times when it comes to these movies, people just want to tell one little story and hope the story gets told and gets made. They're not thinking about, oh, I'm going to be doing 25 sequels down the road. So I totally get why it was like they didn't have that whole idea. But I guess as a writer, you always try to leave little avenues open so that way you can kind of go down different roads and have different type of possibilities. But yeah, he's come up with other different characters and none of them are really stuck except for it was like John and Amanda. Those are like the two that I think mostly everybody likes. Y'all tried the whole thing with Costas Mandalore. He wasn't really doing it for me in regards of the being the villain and all the other, like the new Jigsaw and stuff. It wasn't really working. But and we got to also think that the actor that plays John, he's old. He's like in his 80s. So how long he gonna be able to play this part? And God forbid, at another point where it's just like y'all ready to move on from this character, how are y'all gonna keep the story going? So I think these are the things that they just gonna have to figure out. I'm actually, Saw 10 was pretty good. Here's hoping that, okay, now that y'all gonna get Saw 11 up and running, who knows when that's gonna happen, that the movie won't suck. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna be doing with this movie, with Saw 11. They also wanted to say the scribes, Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, turned in a draft in 2024 with Saw X director Kevin Bruder attached to direct. And yeah, so they were going to bring the same director back. So hopefully what they'll do is they'll just, now that, they're, we'll say rumored to be, even though the major trades are covering it, now that they're going to be moving over to Blumhouse, that they will revisit the same script. And if they want to spruce it up a little bit, add a little extra something, or like do a whole new draft and stuff, then we'll see what they do with that. But in the meantime, I will keep you guys abreast of this story as it develops, but that's the latest news on this new Saw movie. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Are you guys excited that we're going to be getting a new Saw movie now that they're going to be picked up by Blumhouse, which I think is a really good home for it. I just hope that the movie doesn't suck, because like I said before, a lot of the Blumhouse movies really haven't been moving They haven't really moved me, and I am a huge horror fanatic. So I haven't really liked a lot of the movies that's come out of there, but I've got high hopes for like Black Phone 2 because I love Black Phone, and I'll go see, out of curiosity, I will go see Megan 2.0. But for the most part, y'all really need to step y'all pussy up over there in regards of content on the horror front. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.